Welcome to Elliott's PT podcast. I'm here to help you find your balance and live your best life guilt-free. I don't believe there is a one-size-fits-all approach for health and fitness. We're all different and we need to find out what works for us. I'm passionate about helping people make realistic, long-term lifestyle changes that they will stick to and they will take with them forever. I don't believe in crazy diets or short-term fixes. We all need to live and find a perfect balance in diet and exercise that suits our individual needs. I want to help you find your exercise mojo, feel great and achieve wonderful things. Here is Elliott's PT podcast by Renae Elliott. Hello, and welcome back to Elliott's PT. So Helena is back with me today, which we are excited about, and we want to talk about the classes that we run and how we have people. I guess that's the best way to explain, isn't it?
People who are working with concerns, injuries. Limitations in some way. Yeah.
I feel like...
Is that what you meant?
Yes,
Did I
totally
say the right thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it's our superpower.
It is.
Because I feel like it's our superpower and it's a big thing of what our classes is about. So, and I feel it's something that people are scared to join or start doing exercise or joining a group because that they have, these injuries or they feel like they can't do things and they can't keep up. But it's as PTs and as group instructors, like I think everything has to be adaptable.
It's kind of what we live for,
isn't
it?
But yeah. People go, oh, I don't want to cause you hassle. I'm like, yeah, but it's our job.
Yeah, and we enjoy it.
Yeah,
it makes us be creative, doesn't
yeah.
it? And we like that.
But it's also great to see, like, I had someone else who actually said to me the other week, she's like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't wait for a Saturday morning to come to a class. She's only coming on the one day.
Yeah.
And she was someone that like wanted to slowly start exercise, but she's a neck, like a few neck things.
Yeah.
And she was worried about starting because she hadn't exercised,
Yeah.
I find I think that's the most rewarding thing is when you find people that were probably nervous to start or they had this injury, and then we can work around it, but we can also then look at helping them fix it, strengthen around that area. And I just really, I wanted for us to come on here and talk more to people about how it is our superpower.
Yeah.
And if you are nervous of joining a class or starting doing something different, to understand that it's part of our job.
And it's part of our job.
It is never a hassle. That's what, we get it quite a lot. People say...
Yeah. People apologising.
Yeah.
Like I had it this morning. Somebody can't run at the moment and she was going to walk and she's saying to her group, sorry about this. And I said, listen, it's not going to affect them at all.
No.
It's not going to affect them at all. So why are you apologising to them?
I know.
And even if it was going to affect them, it doesn't matter.
I know. I know.
We'll still make it work.
Yes, exactly.
So don't.
And the best thing is to keep moving.
Yeah.
Is to not just stop and do nothing But that's what I'm saying, like, like with, like some that had like the same, I know the person you're talking about, the same, and I said to her, we can do everything for you sitting down.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, and we did, and she's like, oh, I didn't realise that. You're like, like that's...
It's like we both, and the reason we love working together is because we both, like, deeply believe in being inclusive.
Yeah,
And just, really believe that we want everybody and anybody to come and train here and feel like they're making progress,
totally.
and feel welcome and included, and it's and it's a pleasure, isn't it?
Totally.
It's not a hassle.
Never.
And nobody else who's training cares. So you're apologising to us and you're apologising to the people around you, and you don't need to.
And I always say to people, I reckon like 80%, if not more, of the class has somebody has some form of quirk in some way that we have to change and adapt.
And we both have them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like
my ankles. So, but that most of the class has some form of a quirk that we have to change and adapt it for them. But that's why Like that's part of our job. It's not just to come in and follow this from, read the board or follow it and just do that. It's not that at all.
Do you think it comes from previous bad experiences?
I think some of it does.
Yeah, I do. Because I think so what's good about here is we program for you and we teach you. Yeah. Whereas if you're going somewhere with central programming, so a lot of these chains and franchises, the people who train you are not programming for you. So
they
they're
get
not
it all
programming
sent from a head
for
office.
You. Anyway, they're not programming
for
their clientele, which could be very different depending on where they are. It's just being sent to them, and they may not have the skills to adapt it. May not, it's hit and miss. Some places are better than others, and also, so there's that issue that you might be doing a cookie cutter workout that's been designed. I mean, some of these workouts are worldwide, so the same 10 billion people, no, that's not that many members, but you know what I mean.
I know.
So that's one thing that could be, at the root of people being turned off it. But the other thing is, I do know that some trainers aren't interested in training people with any kind of mental limitation.
And that
I think it's shocking, but it's true. Yeah.
I know I had someone that worked here for a little bit, and when I said this is what we do, that she was like, no, I was like, well, this is a big part of who we are, and I feel I want to be inclusive of everybody because it makes me sad that people stop exercising because there's so exercise should be part of everyone's life, and there's so many. But it makes me so sad that they stop exercising because that they feel like they
they feel like they're in the way,
or that they were, another big thing, and it really made me want to cry. It was a few years ago that somebody, when they just started here, and they had been in another gym, like a group class gym program thing they were doing, and they were wetting themselves, and the person was like, just wear a pad. And I was like, no, don't just wear a pad. Let's go, let's work on your pelvic floor and work out why you're wetting yourself.
And not give you stuff that's going to make you wet yourself.
Take out the jumps, take out this. Don't just wear a pad. It made me so angry because, but that's what she believed.
And that could turn somebody off fitness for good.
But it could also damage them even more. Like another girl going on to the same, she was lifting big and heavy weights, and she did prolapse, and you can't do that because it makes it worse. But it's things like it just makes me so sad. But it's but I think I just really exercise. There is always. It's what I say, people, there's always an alternative exercise that you can do that works. Like a mountain climber, works your obliques, but, so does a Russian twist, so does a bicycle. 3 different exercises that work pretty similar muscle groups that can be adapted for,
for your level, what you need and where you are.
Yeah. I guess the most common injuries, we get shoulders
and knees.
Shoulders and knees are probably the most common things that we have. And some people find, some people get dizzy, with up and downs. They find that.
So if you came to one of our classes, you might think, oh, they're all doing something different, which they are, but it's not that it's not that everybody's, they are doing the same workout in a way, and they're working the same
but they're working where they're, and that's why our classes are so,
right for them.
Because there's people that are, there's people that are in their 70s, there's people that are in their 30s, there's people that are in their, of all ages. Pregnant people, and that they do the class and they still are part of the group, but they're not injuring themselves. Like somebody else was like, they just go home and they're injured. I'm like, well, why would you keep doing that?
Another thing I've heard a couple of times is people just not being given anything else to do. So if there's something they can't do, it's like, oh, you just stand there.
I know. Oh, that's
that's mad. You know, because that's really exclusive. You know, that really says you don't belong here. You know, you go and stand in the corner while we all do this, and then you can come back.
So, and even burpees. So even I love a burpee,
And but there is a burpee style that most people can do.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, so obviously you can jump it out and you can go straight onto the ground. You can step it out. You can also do it off a chair.
Yeah.
You know, so there's many different versions of the same exercise that people can do that, you know, will work for them.
Yeah.
You know, or if they can't do anything on their shoulders, then, you know, there's always a get up or something.
There is always a get up. Yeah.
Or something like that they can do. So what are some of the things that we've heard most people saying why they're scared to start?
Yeah, I think there's always this idea of I'm not fit enough to start, and then if you add an injury or some kind of limitation, it might not be an injury, you know, it might be something permanent kind of thing. So that's a big one, you know, that kind of fear, and you know, and that, you know, that can apply to anybody. You don't have to be injured to feel that way.
Yeah. People saying they feel like they hold everyone up.
Yeah, but you won't.
No.
You know? I mean, we would very rarely program in a way that's like everybody has to do 20 of this and we'll wait for you. We don't program like that, because that's inefficient programming.
The other
We'd be more likely to have a time interval, wouldn't we?
Totally, yeah.
So then everybody can work at their own pace.
Someone that's maybe done that is fitter, they do more rounds than what the person that's just started, but nobody goes, ha!
Yeah, and you don't all have to move at it's not choreographed, like you're not all trying to move at the same
like
tempo or anything like that.
The other thing is sometimes, you know, you used to do, like I would deliberately pair people, so I would deliberately pair the fittest person with the unfittest. So because say you're doing like something together, the fittest person can hold on to that. So say like they've got to run while somebody's like holding a plank or something. Well, the person that's the least fittest.
So say they have to do like 20 squats or whatever.
They're gonna
have to run more.
They're gonna have to run longer. But that person can cope with it. So when people say, oh, I don't want to hold them up, I'm like, no, you're actually challenging them more.
You're doing them a favour.
You're actually doing them a favour, so it's actually beneficial to that person, not... if I paired them up with someone of the same level, they wouldn't be challenged. Does that make sense?
They'd just be whizzing through it.
So it's...
good example.
So some examples of people that we have had in here, of how they've probably felt this way, like, so if, you know, people feel worried to start, they feel they're not fit enough, they feel embarrassed,
they feel like they're a burden, like a burden on us, a burden on the rest of the group.
But it's never ever.
It's not how we feel.
It's what our job. That's what I keep saying to people. It's our job. It's we're meant to. Some days it gets stressful when you've got like the 2 people or 3 people don't tell you until the day.
And it can be a lot to juggle.
But it's also challenging.
I always say to people, look, I might not get it right first time. So if I give you the wrong, you know, if I give you an alternative that doesn't work for you, tell me. And the more you come, the better it gets and the easier it gets, because then you know your own alternative.
And that's what I love the best, is that people learn themselves, and they'll say, oh, yep, when I did this, you know, there's someone that's just started and she's has a back problem, but she also has a job where she tends to hurt her back she's a nurse. And that's what it's saying, like, right, let's eliminate this one, let's incorporate this, you got to think about this when you're outside of here, you know, but it's working through so then you can take charge yourself. And I think, and you know, people that have come for a long time and maybe have some long-term injuries, they know their alternative straight away because they know how to manage it.
And that's really empowering. Like, the worst thing somebody can do is be inconsistent with it, you know, so rock up with your injury and then, you know, feel like, oh, that didn't go very well because one of the things she gave me hurt me and I didn't say anything, but now I'm not going to come again.
But
actually, if you talk to us,
we can,
and you know, and you will learn, like we said, you will learn your own alternatives, and then you're flying. Like, nothing's going to stop you then, you know.
And it incorporates into all aspects of your life.
It does, because if you need to do a functional lifestyle move outside of the gym that we've been working with you on, you'll be like, right, I know how to, I know how to do this now. So like we talk about getting up off the ground so much, but I was training a couple of people who had to spend a lot of time on the ground at work, and the way they were getting up was just abysmal, like almost kind of doing the split, straight legs, knees locked out, pressing down on the legs, loads of heaving and hoeing and effort. And we just trained them to get up properly from a half kneeling position, and now they can do it at work, and their job's easier, so stuff like that, is really impactful for people. So
some people, there's people with some shoulder injuries that was nervous to restart, and now she's actually feeling like her shoulder's feeling a lot better because she's starting to use it more, like we're starting with no weights but starting to do movements over her head. There's been lots of people with knee things, and we work through them by getting them to take their shoes off.
Some people have to train seated for a while, or on the ground, which is fine. Like we can still give you a good workout, And you can
I have someone with a really
legs,
bad knee at the moment, and everything is seated or on the ground, but they also get dizzy, so we can't get up and down.
So you have to kind of do a whole bit on the ground and then a whole bit on the seat. I know.
So there's those types of people that we've and they've had great progress. And the other thing is, years and years ago, there was somebody that had a shoulder injury and a knee injury at the same time. So all we could do for about 6 months was focus just on core. And I was so proud that she never gave up. And we focused just on that. And she had the strongest abs.
I bet.
But it was, sometimes I say to people, it's good because it actually forces you to focus on this one part for a certain amount of time. So because she couldn't do anything with her shoulder and she couldn't do so, it was actually really good because all we could do was mostly core, glutes, that type of stuff. So we could only do that during the time, and she just became so strong. And then obviously once her knee and her shoulder kind of sort of...
You're in such a good position to pick up your other training,
and
aren't you?
That's what we kind of want for everybody, don't we? In our sessions. So we just kind of wanted to talk about it today because we hear it quite often, I guess, people nervous to start, or I don't know about you, but I hear they feel that way when they start, and then they start and then they see, oh, it wasn't as bad as they thought.
And I'm not the only one. Because actually, like you say, it's like 8 out of 10 of us in the room.
I reckon there's a pretty
including the instructors.
We both have our own quirks. They realise that it's not them. But also, there's people that have things like, just someone today was just the medicine ball slams are making them dizzy, and they don't normally say that doesn't normally happen, but there's things that can happen during a class, and it's we just once that she realized that, we just adapted and changed to suit her, because why go, I think we were only halfway through the class, so why do the rest of the half and feel sick or feel yucky? No way, I wouldn't want that for you. We never want anybody to be training with pain or kind of that level of discomfort,
the thing. And quite often, like in a class today, I was looking at somebody and I said, is that look on your face pain, or that you're working hard? And she went, I'm just working hard. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We have to check kind of thing, because people will sometimes want to push through and think that that's the right
thing
to do.
And it's not cool. Listen to your body, it's telling you something for a reason.
And like you say, it could just be that one day. Something's a little off, and you just need to not do that thing that day, and that's fine too. We're not necessarily always talking about long-term issues.
But it's also stripping it back and working out what's going on. We don't want to just ignore the thing either. But the person with the shoulder, injury, she was really nervous to start because she'd again, like we said, prior things, they'd been somewhere before and, just made it worse.
Just weren't catered for.
And it's understanding that, I feel it should be everyone's job, and that is part of.
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
a big part of our job to make sure that.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be active for life.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, it has to be adapted to suit where you're at. Or
it does, it does. And just communicating with the trainer, just like with a shoulder injury, we can still train the shoulder. We just have to figure out, we just have to figure out what the shoulder's going to accept at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
And then, and then we see if we can move that on a little bit.
And it's working with you. Like I always say, there's this line of, because I've had people have a shoulder injury, and there's this line of like, okay, we need to give it a rest for a while. But then sometimes if you rest it for too long, it just stiffens up and it gets worse. Yeah. So it's working out like, and that's what we work with you to work out where is that line of,
because you might just be like lift it, like body weight front raise, body weight side raise, just a tiny little bit of shoulder mobility with no added weight, just literally moving the arm up and down. That might be where you're at now, and you can do that for as long as you want, and then maybe we can add a 0.5 kilo weight to it. Like it's not something that we're trying to sort out in 2 weeks or whatever. It's something that we work with you on for as long as you need. And then for some people, there are always going to be some things that are not going to be possible for them, but that's okay. We just work around that long term.
Totally.
Like we've got a client who she can't squat or lunge like sagittally, like forwards, but she can do it laterally, side to side. So she always does that, and that's fine. Like she's sorted, so she knows. Whenever that's on the menu, she just does it. Yeah, she just does it straight away.
And she's strong. Yeah,
she is strong. Yeah.
I feel like I just feel that it's not something to accept, and it's not something to stop you from exercising.
No, and if you're looking for a trainer, make sure you talk to them about this stuff. And if you feel like they don't understand or they're not gonna
go somewhere
else, because that's not right. And that's you're gonna pay money to this person.
Exactly. You are not that's their job. And I also think that's why lots of people call like the group classes personal training. They call it because it is so personal.
It is.
So most people say, "Oh, I'm going to PT." Where it may be a group class, but because it all feels like you're getting such good value because you're getting a private. You're getting that personalized touch in a group situation. And you get the benefit of
of being in the group and that dynamic.
Too. So
it's a great blend here, isn't it? Like of the
but I feel like that's what most people call it PT, because they do get that personalised touch. So if it's something that, if you have an injury but you're nervous about starting any any gym class or anything at all, it's understand that it is the trainer's job to tailor it to you. And it should be tailored. And if it is not being tailored to you, then maybe I would be rethinking where you're going and looking for somebody that's going to adapt it to you, because, there is thousands and thousands of exercises out there that can work the same muscle groups. And, there's so many things that you can do that will make you exercise safely. Because that's another thing. People are worried they'll make the injuries worse. So that you can exercise safely and not aggravate your injury, and we'll be able to work on strengthening it. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to love yous and leave yous at that note. All right, bye.
Thanks for listening to the Elliott's PT podcast. I hope you have been able to find this information of use to you. If you know someone who might enjoy this podcast, please share it with them. And ensure that you subscribe so you can be the first to know when new podcasts are released. If you have the time to leave a 5-star review, that would be amazing, and it would be greatly appreciated. If you do so, please screenshot and share onto any of our socials and tag us. Then email the screenshot to hello@elliotspt.com and we will send you a free gift to your inbox. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day. Speak soon.